It's time for Be in the Driver's Seat with Regina, the Queen of Car Loans. Mental health expert Dr. Teresa Moore and community engager Gill Garrett. A Saturday mix of community, cars, credit, and wellness created just for you. Brought to you by Joe Lunghamer Chevrolet of Waterford. Plan your next vehicle purchase or get your credit rolling in the right direction with Regina today. And now, Regina, the Queen of Car Loans, Dr. Teresa Moore, and Gill Garrett.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Ooh, happy Saturday, everybody.
Happy Saturday, y'all. What's going on with y'all this morning?
Listen, we glad y'all up be in the driver's seat.
Yes, y'all are here with us this morning. Dr. T, it is wonderful outside. As I was coming around the corner on two wheels.
Definitely. You were definitely on two wheels this morning.
Man, I heard the birds chirping.
Yeah, it is beautiful.
It is, yeah.
We are literally heading into a new season.
Man.
You can smell growth.
Yeah.
You can smell.
Yeah, for sure. And then, listen, so this big eclipse, right? Like,
okay, man.
Let's talk
huge.
about that, like, for a sec. Like, this big eclipse and just watching that. But I said I was going to do this, but I don't know how quite it's Regina, the Queen of Car Loans. Hey, man, our sisters is out getting it. If you haven't picked up her digital book yet, please do so. Yeah, she's been shopping that thing around and on different podcasts and being guests. So that's what she's out doing, and I appreciate her so much for just stepping out on faith like that, right?
Yeah, listen, she has a lot of years in this business.
Yes, a lot of years. She has
a lot of nuggets that she drop every day. So if you're looking to purchase a vehicle or even just to get information, make sure y'all jump on her YouTube. Make sure you jump on her Facebook and just listen to her. She goes live a few times a week.
Yes.
She's also on a Hispanic radio station. So she's out here really doing it, y'all. She's bringing knowledge to the community. And if you have not experienced Regina, the Queen of Car Loans, purchasing a vehicle from her, you definitely want to give her a call. You can Google her at Regina, the Queen of Car Loans, or you can catch her at Joe Lunghamer Chevrolet. So give a call to her if you need a vehicle today.
Hey, listen, that digital playbook she got, you got to cop that, download that.
And it's comprehensive. That's why I like it. Like, it's not like overly hard to understand. You just can open it up and you can follow those steps and you will be successful. And she give you a lot of tips. And what I love about it is that not only does she give you tips, but she's an advocate for credit, for good credit. So this morning we shouting you out, Regina, the Queen of Car Loans.
Right.
Because she's out of the office. But listen, Gil, I'm so excited about the show today. Woo! But before we get there, like you talked about the eclipse, we had people, and like I had somebody at my job literally drove to go see it, and she was so excited. So shout out to Nakai this morning. She my workplace bestie, but she took pictures, and all I know is it got dark. Yeah. Like, it was super dark in the day.
Just watching they give you these special glasses. I ain't seen them glasses. I never knew what them glasses was when they gave them to me in kindergarten. Because they was like, okay, we about to go outside. And I was like, I got me some sunglasses, right?
Sunglasses.
And because that was the first time that I had experienced it. And they say it's every, 30, 40 years you get something like that. You get a full.
We probably won't ever see it again.
We probably won't. You know, I asked God for that 110.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You know,
that
I like
110
is a very good number.
Yeah. I say, give me to 110, Jesus. Give me to 110.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying?
But it was something to see, though, honestly. And you know what? It really just shows you, like, when God is, he is so amazing. He's the only architect I know that can blow your mind like that. Yeah. Like, he can create something out of nothing. So I'm thankful for that.
I wonder, I guess for the moon, was it the moon or the earth at the same time, the alignment to just, and that perfect ring, like when it's centered.
Who could do that?
Man, come on, man.
Nobody but God. Nobody could
do it. If you questioning God's ability.
Listen, you can't, people question it all the time, but you know what? I've tasted him, so I already know what he's like.
And experience.
And experienced him. You're right.
And experience.
So look, we talking about the word of the week. Listen, for everybody who's watching and for those who will listen to the replay or even those that's up now, the word of the week is growth. Man, and that just kind of dropped in my spirit. I'm like, grow. And it dropped because I started thinking about the people around me. And, when I think about the word growth, period, it's really challenging me when I think about it, because it makes you go back and think like where you started from, where you going. And I thought about even today, shout out to Frederick Lamont Moore. Today is our 28th year anniversary. And I thought about that immediately about growth, because 28 years ago, I never knew that I would be where I am at today in a marriage, with a child, in a career. So growth really is huge to me, because it really shows us where we started and where we're at and where we could go. So it's a stretching, it stretches me. And so as I think about growth as an individual, I want to always be surrounded by others who can sharpen me and stretch me so that I can grow. I don't ever want to be the smartest person in the room. I don't ever want to be the one that knows it all. I want to be challenged. And in order to grow, you got to be challenged.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. Listen, I've always told myself that I will be a forever learner.
Yeah.
Like once I got past a lifelong learner, once I got past the space of having that self-confidence.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to win some things and be secure in yourself, right? Like, but it's another thing to have that confidence every single time that no matter what you see in front of you, that you're going to be able to accomplish that. And that's, you have to convince yourself before anybody else will believe or will continue to follow you. And I've always been a leader, and I understood that. And so I've been always following these leadership, not just courses, but finding people that not I wanted to emulate, but had some great tools in their tool belt. And I'm like, okay, how do you learn that, and how do I apply that to my life? So that growth piece that you talk about is forever. It is not just at a one moment, at a one time. And when you're going through some things, like I've learned that I'm great at shifting cultures and organizations. Yeah. And so when I go into an organization or something, it's that I'm looking for the growth mechanism and then be able to say, okay, this is how we move in that. But first, I have to recognize what that growth is. Yeah. And that piece, right now I'm taking some leadership courses, John Maxwell leadership courses, right? And so, I don't want to ever, like you say, be the smartest one in the room. I don't ever want to not be in the place that I'm supposed to be in. And I realize there's something. I love to see people win.
Me too.
Like I love to see,
right? That's my motto,
for sure,
right?
For sure.
But Gil, you just said something, and what I love about what you just said, like you're taking courses and stuff. But the reality of it is growth is knowing that you need to continue to grow, and sometimes people get stunted in that growth. And as a therapist, I see people who stop living or stop growing at a certain time because trauma may have come in their lives. And so what I love about that, you talked about self, right? You have to have confidence, but self-control, the number one thing in self-control, self-esteem, all of that is self. So you really have to come into alignment with self and say, you know what? I need to do something to grow. I need to do something to sharpen me, even in Christ. Like we grow in Christ. We don't stay babes. Even we may have mustard seed faith today, but at some point that faith is going to grow, right? When you keep feeding it. And same thing with us. The more we do a thing, we get more comfortable with it, and then we begin to grow. And then you like, you know what? You said that what you do is shift cultures. You're very good at that. But that's what growth is. It's showing you what you're good at, and you continue to keep doing that, and you get better. Wow.
And it's always something out there. Like there's forever something out there that you can, especially nowadays. Like before, it used to be just going to get the books. People who were in these, the library. You knew some people who were in leadership, so they will tell you what they're reading, right? But now you have this wonderful world of YouTube, Google, and Google, and all information. And I would say this is not good information. Yeah. So if you stay consistent with the people that you see growth actively in them. Like I love watching myself get to a space where I'm like, okay, that's challenging for me. And then I go look back 6 months and be like, oh, I remember when I didn't even start that. Then
I didn't want to start
or
that.
I didn't even want to, or I was just refusing to be, okay, God, look, that's out of my comfort zone, right? And like you said it before, you said stretching, right? Like stretching you in a different space to where you need to be in. If I knew back then, and we always say that too, like we knew back then what I know now, you'd be like, oh my God, I should have started this earlier. I should have did that a little sooner. Yeah. Okay, I should have not hit that snooze.
But that's growth too, though. Just recognizing what you should have did or what you didn't do. But you know what I love about it? We always have another day. Every day that the Lord wakes us up, we have another day to grow. So every day when we get up, here we grow again, right? Not just here we go again, but here we grow again.
I like that.
What can we do to grow today?
That's
what
excellent.
can we do to advance ourselves more today than we were yesterday? Whether we grow in knowledge, whether we grow in love, whether we grow in our occupations, whatever we do, what can we do to grow today?
Man, listen, I am ecstatic about who our guest is.
Oh, yeah, I'm so excited.
I'm excited about just, again, that word growth and being able to be in this space with you and Regina and be able to say, okay, listen, we are moving, we are pressing towards the mark that Jesus Christ has set for us and everyone, because it takes you, listen, you got to make a choice to do that.
Come on.
That's growth.
Choose you this day.
Yeah.
Right?
Like listen, Jesus was an OG. I keep trying to tell folks, Jesus was an OG. And he just give it to you like, hey, this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Either you going to follow me. Could you imagine being out that day fishing and he say, drop them nets, come follow me?
No. But I'm so glad that they dropped the nets and followed. And everybody else. Man. Because now I follow. Yeah. And I don't have to be forced. Yeah. I do it willingly.
Growth.
Growth. That's growth. So I'm so excited. So we're going to take a break. But right before we take a break, we have Stacey Williams coming back. She is the owner of the Restoration Village. And we're so excited to have her. She is a mental health therapist. We'll be right back after this break.
Are you paying high interest rates on a car loan? Do you desire to purchase a home, but you're unable to get approved? Perhaps you're repeatedly getting denied for credit when applying for credit cards. Listen, better credit doesn't just happen. You've got to make it happen. I've helped hundreds of people better their credit and their overall financial situation by applying a simple set of instructions that anyone can follow. Call me today, 1-800-988-9184. That's Kathy Washington, your financial impact coach, at 1-800-988-9184. Don't delay. Call today.
Hi, I'm Dave Wilkie, Service Manager at Joe Lunghamer Chevrolet. Since the 1950s, Joe Lunghamer and his family have been honored to service your vehicles. With 112 years of combined service experience, we can take care of any concern you might have. From warranty work to routine oil changes, we treat your vehicle like our own. Call now to schedule a next service appointment at Joe Lunghamer Chevrolet. Stop by anytime, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Get your vehicle serviced right every time. Call 248-683-7100. That's 248-683-7100.
Chevrolet. Find new roads.
Regina, the Queen of Car Loans here with Joe Lunghamer Chevrolet. If you're looking to get into a new or used vehicle with affordable rates, we've got your back. My lenders are making unheard of deals where others may have roadblocks. Regardless of your financial situation, I can get you financed and driving today. Simply Google Regina, the Queen of Car Loans. Ride in style with the Queen. Regina, the Queen of Car Loans at Joe Lunghamer Chevrolet in Waterford.
Chevrolet. Find new roads.
Since 1949, May has been recognized as Mental Health Awareness Month. The Restoration Village invites you to join us on Saturday, May 4th, 2024 from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at UWM Sports Complex in Pontiac, Michigan, as we celebrate Mental Health Awareness Month with our third annual Mental Health Awareness Summit, My Mental Health is My Business. Come hear from keynote speaker, Detroit native Dr. Sabrina Jackson, as she shares strategies and inspires us to care for our mental health. There will be a variety of community resources and much more. This event is free and for the entire family, with activities for youth and teens. We look forward to seeing you on Saturday, May 4th, 2024 from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at UWM Sports Complex in Pontiac, Michigan for Mental Health is My Business. And you are back listening to Be in the Driver's Seat. So listen, we are so excited. We have Stacey Williams in the studio. And Stacey, I'm so excited you're here. But before we introduce you, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning to you, man.
Good morning.
Oh, you've been active. You've been active.
Listen.
Oh, man.
Spreading the word about this great organization and this event.
Yeah.
You've been on your little tour, huh?
Well, we're just trying to get the word out because I think it's something great that's going to happen. And the more people that experience it, I think the better our communities will be. So I just want to get the word out.
Listen, so you're going to hear about that word this morning. But listen, Stacey Williams, she is a licensed professional counselor. And this is week 3, which is the Therapist Corner. So we're so glad to have her on from the Restoration Village. Just want to share with you all, the listeners and also the viewers, a little bit about Stacey. So she is the founder of the Restoration Village Therapeutic and Holistic Services. She has spent her entire career working in the helping profession, serving the community, primarily with high-risk populations. She earned her bachelor's in psychology at the University of West Indies, Jamaica in 2000, and her master's of arts in counseling at Spring Arbor in 2010. Mm-hmm. She is a trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapist, a CBT, y'all, and a well-certified clinical trauma professional with extensive working experience with children, teens, and adults that have been affected and impacted by trauma. In 2016, the Restoration Village was established, and this is a private practice, everyone, that specializes in trauma. And she'll be able to give you information later on in the show that will show the Restoration Village, how to contact them, and how to speak to what may be hurting you, what may be broken within you, and she will help restore you. Okay. So again, good morning, Stacey.
Good morning.
So Stacey, I know that was huge, wasn't it, Gil?
I was like, who?
I'm like,
you was like, who's she talking to? Huh?
I'm about to call D like D. D, your wife, she gangster.
He
she
watching.
So listen, Stacey, tell the listeners a little bit about you and how you got started with the Restoration Village.
So a little bit about myself. As you read, I've always pretty much been around helping people my entire life. I grew up in Jamaica, and my parents were what we would consider ministers of religion. They basically ran you would call it a group home or a residential facility. In Jamaica, we call it a children's home. Okay. So they did that for over 20 years, and that's what we knew. So one of the things that was curious for me was, why do people do what they do? What happens when you go through something like losing a parent or living in a setting where you're abandoned? What happens to your brain? And so that's where my curiosity got sparked. When I told my dad I wanted to go into psychology, he was like, what you going to do with that?
Well, wait a minute. So how old were you when you kind of knew that this is the field that you wanted to go in?
I probably, maybe 17, 18, yeah. Okay. Around then. And then I wanted to really be a child psychologist. And I never, because you would have to keep going to school. So I did my first degree, and then I took a break, and then I went and did my degree in counseling, because then I realized, well, counseling is a good way to not just only hear what people have to say, but to help them kind of navigate their journey. So it kind of went that way. And I found myself just like really trying to learn more about human behavior. And as you know, like with cognitive behavioral therapy, it's like you helping people understand why they think the way they think.
Yeah. And then combating them, those distorted cognitions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Stacey, oftentimes when people sit in this chair and we kind of talk about how they got into the field, most people say they chose the field, but actually I believe that the field chose you.
For sure.
So was there anything that happened in your life that pressed you into really wanting to go in this? Like something personal that, you know what, I need to address this and then help others address it?
Well, that came after.
Okay, let's talk about it.
But at first, it was really me trying to find a way to help people because, as I mentioned, that's all I knew was you just help people. But my journey, most of my traumatic experiences occurred as an adult.
Okay.
So from my healing, it really emphasized the importance of not just only that you go through things, but that you can heal through what you go through. And so as I started my healing journey, actually, it really made being a therapist more impactful, because I was able to be honest with the fact that for 10 years, I was in an abusive marriage. And through that, it was beyond traumatic, even after leaving, and helping people through that space of working and healing through trauma. The impact it has not only on your life, but on the life of the people around you. Trauma never just affects you. It's everybody that's affected. That's true. And being able to find that space for healing.
So, Stacey, you said something powerful, working and healing through the trauma. So as a therapist, oftentimes like people think that we don't have feelings, right? They think that we're invincible because we kind of do this job. But how do you teach others to work through the trauma while still dealing with the trauma?
So it's basically being able to identify that a self-awareness, right? So you know what it means when you are truly aware of what you're feeling, what you're experiencing, then you can work through it. And so as a trauma therapist, one of the things that we hear is when people like kind of have behaviors they're not aware of, and then you kind of help them navigate the fact that this is a result of something that happened to you. Most of the times you have an adult that's acting out like a 4-year-old, but they don't realize that at 4, when you got pulled from your home or you went into foster care, you're still stuck in that space.
So Gill and I kind of talked about that a little bit today, because our word of the day is growth. So kind of talk to us about growth. When you hear that word, what is sparked inside of you?
Ongoing.
Okay. Ongoing. Yeah. Growth is continual, right?
It is so continuous. And it's something that you have to be patient with, because it's not like you plant a seed in the ground and the next day you go out and you have a tree, right? Yeah. So you have to water the seed. You have to pull some weeds. You have to nurture it. So when you plant those seeds for growth, you have to pull up the things that come up. So now you find out the triggers and the things you don't like, or the bad patterns you have that needs to be uprooted so that this seed can grow. Yes. And as the seed grow, it gives life to other things in your life, right? That's so we know like trees provide shade, and they provide fruits, and they provide nourishment. So from that one seed, it does multiple things, and you help people to realize that growing is continual. Like, don't be too hard on yourself when you feel like you're not where you want to be.
Yeah, that's good. You know, even when, as you're talking about seed, of course, you know, I think about the seed and the sower, right? But at the day that we plant a seed, of course, you're not going to have the beautiful tree. You're not going to have the beautiful flowers, but what you have is hope in the ground. Absolutely. And so I consider myself a hope dealer. Yeah. So when people come and sit in front of you, what is the first thing that you do to let them know that they're in a safe space?
I want to tell them that. I really do. Like, you are in a safe space. And I said, I walk alongside you. Right?
That's good.
This is your life. You are the expert in your life. All I do is walk alongside you to help you kind of just understand some things that may not be clear for you.
Oh, that's good.
That's deep.
That's deep.
That's deep.
Yeah.
So how did you get from, because I'm going to ask the question that people want to know.
Okay.
How did you get from Jamaica to Michigan to do this work?
So what I'm going to tell people when they ask me that question, I always say, I got here in a plane. What you mean? How I got here?
Yeah, like
that's a good response.
That's a good response.
But a lot of people wouldn't understand that response. They would think that it's being sarcastic.
They sure
but the really realistic piece of it is that's how I got here. Yeah. But when you're on a mission, when God has plans for you, like, you can land anywhere, right?
For sure.
Yeah. It's deep.
Yeah.
Y'all want the deep version or y'all want the short version?
We want the version.
Give us the version.
So, again, I wanted to be a child psychologist.
Okay.
So a part of the program in Jamaica was that in order to get in the master's child psychology program, you needed like 5,000 contact hours working with kids.
Mm-hmm.
So what me and my dad came up with is that if I worked at a summer camp where they consider you working all day, 24 hours, you're counted for on the clock, that will help me get the hours. So if and in Jamaica, you complete your bachelor's in 3 years. So every summer, I started off in Michigan in 1998, coming to the Salvation Army camp in Leonard,
Salvation
Michigan.
Army.
Okay.
I grew up in the Salvation Army. So my sister and I started, I might have been 17 or 18. And so the first summer I came, did it. And, you're meeting people along the way. So then the second summer and then the third summer. But that year, 2000, right around this time, I was praying and asking God about what do you want me to do with my life. And literally, it was so clear. I still have the book I wrote it down in, and he said, I want you to come back to Michigan. I didn't know what that meant. I didn't even understand it. I just knew I heard it. So I told my parents, they were like, whatever. I came to Michigan with a suitcase and a radio.
Come on.
And while I was at camp, one of the Salvation Army officers came up to me and he said, well, what are you going to do with your life now? And literally I said to him, I'm going back to Jamaica to find a full-time job. And he said, well, if you want, we have a position open. We need somebody to work in our social work department. You can come on in. We'll have an office. And I was like, yeah, right. So I was like, okay, whatever. Thinking nothing.
Listen, Stacey, hold that thought. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with Stacey Williams from the Restoration Village in just a few minutes.
Instructions that anyone can follow. Call me today, 1-800-988-9184. That's Kathy Washington, your financial impact coach, at 1-800-988-9184. Don't delay. Call today.
Hi, I'm Dave Wilkie, Service Manager at Joe Lunghamer Chevrolet. Since the 1950s, Joe Lunghamer and his family have been honored to service your vehicles. With 112 years of combined service experience, we can take care of any concern you might have. From warranty work to routine oil changes, we treat your vehicle like our own. Call now to schedule a next service appointment at Joe Lunghamer Chevrolet. Stop by anytime, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Get your vehicle serviced right every time. Call 248-683-7100. That's 248-683-7100.
Chevrolet. Find new roads.
Regina the Queen of Carlone's here with Joe Lunghamer Chevrolet. If you're looking to get into a new or used vehicle with affordable rates, we've got your back. My lenders are making unheard of deals where others may have roadblocks. Regardless of your financial situation, I can get you financed and driving today. Simply Google Regina the Queen of Car Loans. Ride in style with the Queen. Regina the Queen of Car Loans at Joe Lunghamer Chevrolet in Waterford.
Chevrolet, find new roads.
Since 1949, May has been recognized as Mental Health Awareness Month. The Restoration Village invites you to join us on Saturday, May 4th, 2024 from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at UWM Sports Complex in Pontiac, Michigan, as we celebrate Mental Health Awareness Month with our third annual Mental Health Awareness Summit, My Mental Health is My Business. Come hear from keynote speaker, Detroit native Dr. Sabrina Jackson, as she shares strategies and inspires us to care for our mental health. There will be a variety of community resources and much more. This event is free and for the entire family, with activities for youth and teens. We look forward to seeing you on Saturday, May 4th, 2024 from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at UWM Sports Complex in Pontiac, Michigan for Mental Health is My Business. Listen, you are back.
We back,
Yo,
y'all.
you like that music,
hey,
don't you?
That music, listen.
It just
shout
kind
out
of
to
Commission.
You, Commission.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Commission
Shout
got
out.
us right. So, listen, we're still back with Stacey Williams. She is a mental health therapist, the owner of Restoration Village. Stacey, when we went on break, you were kind of talking about your journey from Jamaica to Michigan.
Yeah.
So, let's kind of pick back up with that.
So when he said to me, you can get this job, I just thought, whatever.
Who is he?
His name is Major Kendall Matthews.
Okay, Major.
And he worked in Michigan for many years. Now he's in the Chicago area.
Yeah.
But 2 weeks after I spoke with him, his wife came out and said, so my husband told me he offered you a job. And she was like, I just want you to know we are ready for you. We have a We have a suite in our basement you can have until you get established.
Wow.
And I still said, whatever.
Wow.
So when I told my dad this, he said, you don't know these people. You need to stop. When, you know, you're not just going to be living with random people.
Come on, Daddy. Okay.
Right.
So as the Lord would have it, because he's so intentional about our life, they had to go to Jamaica on a youth mission trip. And one of the places they went on this trip was to the children's home that my parents were managing. And they had a personal tour of the children's home, and they met my parents personally. I had no idea they were gone on this trip.
You're talking about divine intervention.
No idea.
So listen, when the Bible says that he has well thought out plans for us, that means that those plans are concrete plans. Oh, yeah. And if you stay on the route, those plans will be made manifest for you.
Absolutely.
So here, who would have known that these individuals would encounter your parents? Nobody but God could have did that.
It's 8 billion people on the planet.
Listen, they all the way in Jamaica.
All the way.
Okay, I'm on a tourist island if I'm in Jamaica, okay? And so they happen to be at the children's home. So come on, let's talk about that.
So even when I left Jamaica, that was May 21st of 2000, I felt like Abraham. And you know how Abraham had to leave his country, right? And go into this new place. And that's literally how I felt. Prior to going, I remember reading that story so much because I was like, okay, Lord, this is a faith move. And even though I may not have said it to people that this is what God was telling me to do, I knew it in my heart. So when I called my dad, you know, I would call home every week. And at the time, you know, you didn't have like WhatsApp and all these different things. So you had to save up your money, then you make a phone call and you pay for the phone call. So I called home and my dad said, so I met the Matthews. And he said, if you choose to stay, I'm okay with it.
Wow.
And I was like,
wow.
And I was like,
what was that thought when
First of all, he said, I met the Matthews.
Right, when he said, I met them. Like, what was your thought? Like,
I was
like, Daddy.
Where did they come to? Like, I thought he went to Kingston to meet them. He said, no, they came to Mandeville. And when they actually came back, they showed me a picture they took with my parents. So I knew this happened, and I was like, oh, wow. So
you talk about God's
I'm telling you, but even with that process, it was such, like I said, it was such a faith move.
Yeah.
So they told me, we'll take care of your sponsorship, making sure, because, you know, with my position, you had to show the U.S. government that this person is the only person that you can find qualified to do what you need to do. So however they did the paperwork, they did it. And I had until November 21 to get all this paperwork through, or I would have to go to Jamaica, go back home. So around the 18th of November, the visa still didn't come through. So I called my dad and I told him, I said, buy me a one-way ticket. I'm coming home. And he was fine. I'm not staying nowhere illegal. I'm going back home.
Exactly.
On November 20th, the paperwork came in the mail.
Wow.
That said, the visa had been approved.
Wow.
And it was classified as an R1 visa, like a working visa that allows me to work in the social work field. And that was another testament. It was such a walk of faith the entire time, but never did I worry because I knew what God had told me. Wow. So that's where my journey started. Working again with high-risk individuals, pretty much living out the life that God has always designed for me. And in that process, I determined that, you know what, I do want to go into counseling. I think that's the path that I need to take. And even that path had its own ups and downs in truly saying, is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? Yeah. Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Yeah. When the Lord gave me the Restoration Village, that was 2013, I was in the shower and I came out the shower and wrote the vision down. And it's been a ongoing journey because a lot of times I still would question, is this really what you're telling me to do, Lord? Is this what you're telling me to do?
Well, you know what? I want to stop right there because I think that sometimes people think that you don't question. Like when you're in occupations and you're in careers, some people think that it's really just beautiful, it's all sunny, but you often question, God, is this really where I'm supposed to be? Because the work that's assigned to us that God has us doing, when he tells us to do it, when we got a yes, we can do it, but it doesn't come as easy as most people think. God makes our frame look easy. He makes it makes the work look easy, but a lot of people don't know what the behind the scenes look like. So talk to the listeners about what does, being able to grow through what you go through looks like when you're helping somebody else.
Man.
First of all, 90% or if not 100% of the strategies that I share with people, I use myself.
Oh, me too.
When I tell a person, use affirmations, and I say to them, you may not believe it, so what you do is you write it down, put it on your mirror, put it on a refrigerator, put it on your dashboard, put it in your phone, put it on your desktop.
Put it on your wall, put it in your bathroom, put it everywhere. Yeah.
That's what I did. As a therapist, there was a time in my journey I didn't believe I was strong. I didn't believe I was courageous. I didn't believe I had what it takes to even live my life. I was just going through so much. And when I started doing what we say inner child work, I started writing these affirmations, putting them on my mirror. I'm strong. I'm bold. You can do this. I would cry reading them because there was a part of me that didn't even believe this was true. Like, how? No. Wow. But as I grew through that, it now is something I don't have to read off the wall, the mirror, or the refrigerator, or the dashboard, because it's now a part of who I am, but I grew into it.
That's that growth again.
Yeah.
But, I'm glad that you're sharing that with the listeners because, again, people are drawn to the authenticness. Yeah. And so when you can be authentic, even in session, so, we're trained that you don't tell too much, you don't disclose a lot of things, but people can sense authenticity. Yeah. And so I'm thankful that you even tell them, even when you don't see it, you still speak it. And that's biblical, because guess what? Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. It's the evidence that things that you don't see will happen.
It will come to pass.
It will come to pass. And so are you considered a Christian therapist or are you a Christian that does therapy?
I am a Christian that does therapy.
Oh, okay.
And I, without saying, thus saith the Lord, share the word of God daily. Because there are principles that are biblical that benefits our lives. And I don't have to say the Bible said this. But when I say things like, watch your words, watch how you speak over your life.
Yes.
Your life and your words are powerful. So be careful because your words create your reality.
That's it.
That's Bible, right?
Yeah. But, I love it because, I like your response because I am a therapist that's a Christian, but I smuggle Jesus everywhere I go. Like I smuggle him in. I don't even have to say his word because I carry him with me. And so how important is it for you to be an atmosphere shifter?
Very important. I know that, and I always pray that every day. I say, Lord, let me carry your presence. That wherever I show up, I bring light to the scene. Because we know that where there's darkness and light shows up, darkness can no longer prevail.
That's it.
And like I said, I don't walk with the Bible, but I use it all the time, every single time. And there are times where sometimes I can hear the Holy Spirit saying to a person, tell them I love them. And I will say at the end of the session, and I will say, and don't forget Jesus loves you. And sometimes you'll have a floodgate. Sometimes you'll have, I forgot that. So you never know. And so the Holy Spirit leads my sessions and allow me to minister to people because that's really what it is. It's a ministry. Walking with a person as they heal from life's trauma.
That's good. So let's talk about your upcoming event. Come on, My Mental Health is My Business. Yes. Let's talk about this.
Listen, man.
This is a free event. Wait a minute. Start off with this is a free event. So for those that are listening, this is a free event that's taking place on May 4th.
It's absolutely free. So we know May is Mental Health Awareness Month.
Yes.
And 2 years ago, or this is our third year, but I was sitting at my desk one day and I literally, the Holy Spirit put this in my heart. And I was even, so now when I'm walking this journey, I said, God, you gave this to me. You gave this to me. So it started out really small. We started out at the Salvation Army Community Center in Pontiac, Michigan, and we kind of have transitioned now to the UWM Sports Complex. But the whole idea behind this Mental Health Awareness Summit is that we bring together a host of activities resources, information, and practical strategies of how a person can take care of their mental health. Like, we know the pandemic shifted a lot of things for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And one of the things I realized at that point is just how much people wait until they're in crisis to get help.
Ooh, that's good. So, Stacey, give them the date, the time, the address.
May 4th.
Yes.
So that's 2 Saturdays from today, 11 o'clock to 2 p.m. We're going to be at the UWM Sports Complex, and this is in Pontiac, Michigan, 867 South Boulevard in Pontiac, Michigan. It is completely free. Now, we have our keynote speaker, Dr. Sabrina Jackson from Detroit. Everybody just about know, and if you don't know, go Google. You'll find out real quick.
Yeah.
And then we are going to have chair massages, mini facials. We're going to have fitness, nutrition. We're going to have health screens so you can come and check up on yourself. We're going to have games, music. We have 2 breakout sessions as well. You also have art therapy, pet therapy, yard games. We have everything for our teens and kids. It's for the whole family.
And we're so excited. So listen, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back with how to contact her.
Okay.
Do you desire to purchase a home, but you're unable to get approved? Perhaps you're repeatedly getting denied for credit when applying for credit cards. Listen, better credit doesn't just happen. You've got to make it happen. I've helped hundreds of people better their credit and their overall financial situation by applying a simple set of instructions that anyone can follow. Call me today, 1-800-988-9184. That's Kathy Washington, your financial impact coach, at 1-800-988-9184. Don't delay. Call today.
Regina, the Queen of Carlones here with Joe Lunghamer Chevrolet. If you're looking to get into a new or used vehicle with affordable rates, we've got your back. My lenders are making unheard of deals where others may have roadblocks. Regardless of your financial situation, I can get you financed and driving today. Simply Google Regina, the Queen of Carlones. Ride in style with the Queen. Regina, the Queen of Carlones at Joe Lunghamer Chevrolet in Waterford.
Chevrolet, find new roads.
Since 1949, May has been recognized as Mental Health Awareness Month. The Restoration Village invites you to join us on Saturday, May 4th, 2024 from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at UWM Sports Complex in Pontiac, Michigan, as we celebrate Mental Health Awareness Month with our 3rd annual Mental Health Awareness Summit, My Mental Health is My Business. Come hear from keynote speaker, Detroit native Dr. Sabrina Jackson, as she shares strategies and inspires us to care for our mental health. There will be a variety of community resources and much more. This event is free and for the entire family, with activities for youth and teens. We look forward to seeing you on Saturday, May 4th, 2024 from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at UWM Sports Complex in Pontiac, Michigan for Mental Health is My Business. And we are back. We're so excited. Listen, Stacey has given us a wealth of knowledge. And listen, you heard it, May 4th, 2024, 2 Saturdays from now, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. This is a free community event. You have keynote speakers for teens and adults. Art therapy, pet therapy, yoga, fitness, nutrition, tobacco prevention education, massages, summer camp scholarships, games, prizes, and much more. You want to get the family out and get there. Sure. We're so excited. It's in Pontiac at the UWM Sports Complex at 867 South Boulevard, East Pontiac, Michigan. And so listen, Stacey, tell the listeners, how can they get in touch with the Restoration Village if they want to come and sit in front of you?
Okay, so one of the easiest ways is our website, which is www.therestorationvillage.com. It's so simple. You can email me also at trvtherapistservices@gmail.com. We are on Instagram and Facebook, both at TRV_therapy. And literally, you want to connect with us, and we'll get back right with you. We're excited about just being a part of our community and really, truly being able to make a difference. So we look forward to hearing from you.
Yes, and don't forget, free event May 4th.
Yes.
Free. The Restoration Village presents this. This is a family event.
Yes.
And so oftentimes you have events that's either for adults or for children. This is for the entire family. So you definitely want to go out and support. So Stacey, thank you so much for joining us
Thank you
today.
for being here.
Thank you for having me.
It
I
has
appreciate
been
you.
a pleasure. I'm so excited about this event. I'm so excited about what's the change, the shift that's going to take place in Pontiac after having this encounter.
That's it. And that's what we're working towards. Thank y'all for having me.
Absolutely. So, woo, Gill.
Listen.
Man, it's
just
been awesome.
I love the therapy corner. You get to learn so much about what therapy should be.
Yeah.
How it affects you in a positive way. I'm glad we have the conversation around mental health, and you're showcasing therapists who are genuine and real within themselves to be who they are. And they, I think one of the stigmas, I know for sure for me, when I was dodging it, I mean, as a kid, you know, going through a lot of things and living with my grandparents, and they'd be like, you need to go talk to a social worker, therapist. Like, it's prevalent in public education, right? Like you always want to go talk, they want you to go talk to somebody as a kid. And we know how to play the game.
Yeah, we do.
And we know how to play the game.
Yeah.
I know how to fake my medication. All of that was going into play.
Yeah.
And it's like, you knew if somebody was being genuine, you're not with you or not. And then turn around, it was your favorite teacher who didn't have the title of a therapist that led you out of some of the situations that you were in. But then as an adult, then you start to understand that it's like, I'm a photographer, published photographer. So a lot of people don't like taking pictures because they had bad picture in elementary school that they had to take, and people forced them to take.
Or their image.
You know what I'm saying? They're self-conscious about it. But then you, as an adult, you got to deal with that when you see that. And for me, it's just when life hits you, you need to have a professional person there to be able to guide you out of that situation.
That's true.
One thing that I liked that Ms. Williams said, that she stated, and you stated this all the time too, I'm a Christian who does therapy. I'm not a Christian therapist.
Yeah.
And that you don't isolate yourself just because what your belief is.
That's
and you smuggle God and Jesus into the conversation with them, knowing, because you understand that the Spirit of God and the power of just when he's just introduced. A lot of times people don't get that. And even when you, as a police officer, and some things that I've learned in this last couple of weeks about just my 26-year journey, you know, a lot of things that, you know, you do it for yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't go into police work because I wanted to be the police. I went into the police work because there were some things that I needed to see within myself.
Yeah.
That is just that job itself would help, you know, a lot of my friends, you know, in situations that they were going through. So, you know, growth, and, you know, is learning how to be where you need to be. You know, and I just appreciate the therapy corner. I appreciate these therapists that you've had, that you continue to bring in.
God.
That's what's up. Like, but that's to common people, and I'm not going to say like myself because I'm not common, but to folks who are in that space and need to be able to fight themselves out of it, and because they don't have the confidence that we've learned to gain over years and battles that you've won, because the people know the more battles you win, the stronger you get. You know, you get to a point where the devil show up and you just be like, dog, are you serious? Dog, you get to talking back to him. And I knew then that I was healed from a lot of things when I began to talk back to the enemy, in a sense of, you know, not like Jesus, but talk back to him like, dog, don't be so disrespectful. Right. Don't be so disrespectful to come at me with that. You was doing that when I was 8 years old. You got anything new?
But
you know what I mean?
Like that's good though. Yeah. But I'm thankful that God even placed it on my heart, because to me, I always wanted to collaborate with others and you know, collaborate with them. Like, let's come together. And I'm so thankful of his, you know, how he does a thing, but more importantly, it's important to me that I sit in front of people who can be transparent, because that's what draws others. Yeah. That's what show others, you know what, I'm going through this too. I'm not the only one. You're not the only one. But together we can get through this. So it's important that the people that sit in the therapist corner who comes to bring the knowledge not only are somebody who can give you information, but they can give you truth, that they walk through this. They've walked through some things. And here we are today. That's important. How you grow through what you go through. I like that. How you grow through. And one of the things that Ms. Williams talked about, you know, I'm a big advocate on feel, deal, heal. That's the 3-step motto that I use. And feel, deal, heal. Allow yourself to feel so you can begin to deal with some things, and then you can heal. But healing is ongoing. You have to command yourself to be healed daily. And when you say daily, do you mean daily as in 24 hours, or do you mean daily in the sense of just when you wake up, you got to know that you got to fight this battle? Every day you get up, you got a battle, right? That's why you got to dress properly. That's why God is very specific on how he tells us to dress outwardly and inwardly, right? But it's a daily struggle. Sometimes you have to tell yourself minute by minute. Sometimes it's hour by hour. Sometimes it is one time a day. It depends on the individual, and it certainly depends on where you are in life. So I may not need to hear it all day. Sometimes I do need to hear it all day. So let me ask you this. So when you got into a place, just as a therapist, right? Like when you know that, you know what I'm saying, like these tools that you need to activate, like when you were going through the classes and going through all of, because life didn't stop because you were going to get your certifications. I was triggered a whole bunch. You know what I mean? So like, exactly, like how, you know, when you learn to deal with the affirmations and keep saying them over and over again, and now that you have this practice where you begin to put that into people, how did you continue to just say, I know this is where I'm supposed to be, I'm just going to keep pressing? It's my relationship with God. Awesome. Because he gives us confirmation in that. And I tell myself every day, I am who God says that I am. And I can do everything that God said that I can do. And I stand in that authority. So it's a knowing. But you don't just wake up knowing. You have to train yourself just like with everything else. So I have to eat the daily bread. And I have to drink the daily juice, if you will. So that's it. It's a knowing. Man, but you got to get there. It don't happen overnight. And it's a growth process. And that's why I tell people, trust the process. My process is when I look back over how I journal a lot. And I've been journaling since the 8th grade, right? Yeah. So I go back and I found some old notebooks this last couple of weeks, right? Good. Of just things that I wanted my life to be. And I found old pictures when I started really getting into photography that I had taken when they used to print them out and put the doubles and used to get them at Rite Aid. Period Drugs, I'm sorry, wasn't even Rite Aid. Yeah, it's fair. You know what I mean? Right. So I used to think about those things and visualize that. And the life that I'm living right now, God is so faithful that you can see, I see what I wrote then, but when I wrote it, I didn't see where I am now. That's good. That's good. But listen, man, wasn't this show good? Man, this was awesome. It was so good. This is awesome. If you got nothing else, grow through what you go through. Man, for sure. Happy Saturday, everybody. Happy Saturday, everybody. We'll see you next week. Be in the driver's seat. Oh, and Regina, the Queen of Carlos will be back in the studio. Yes, see y'all next week, everybody. Next week, y'all. God bless you. Peace.
You've been listening to Be in the Driver's Seat with Regina, the Queen of Car Loans, mental health expert Dr. Teresa Moore, and community engager Gill Garrett. Brought to you by Joe Lunghamer Chevrolet of Waterford. Be in the Driver's Seat, a Saturday mix of community, cars, credit, and wellness created just for you. Thank you for listening.